What's up, Lorehounds? It's Koopa here inside the Turbine Entertainment booth. I'm here with Cardell Kerr, the creative director for Infinite Crisis. You guys are in open beta. You actually 4 PAX this week. Everybody's free to play, all heroes, all villains. How's the reception so far?
It's been great, actually. I mean, really, it's like you can look around the booth and you can see these lines everywhere, and everyone's watching our finals right now, so that's even more awe-inspiring. Because, like, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of discovering us again for the first time, but it's like we've been here for a while, we've been doing a lot of different things, but this time, since we're so focused on Gotham Divided and really showcasing high-level play, it's been really a jaw-dropping performances. They're seeing these big plays happen. They're like, oh, what's going on? Our game is so visually different that it clearly just pulls people in.
Yeah, and you guys have a different base map setup too. Have you seen, we're seeing a lot of high-level play. Are you getting, now that you've padded out that roster a lot further, a lot of pro interest?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what we've also seen is we're getting a lot of pro interest and pro feedback, because they always come one with the other. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback in terms of who we think are the most broken characters. We've also seen a lot of stuff where internally we have a much wider selection of characters that are playable. So sometimes we have to weigh that feedback based off of, this character is really strong right now, but that's because a strong counter pick has yet to come out for you guys. Internally, we don't think he's that tough because of the fact that we just play this other character against them. So like, I think we're trying our best to make sure that we can keep accelerating our character release schedule to get to a point where you have a critical mass of just options.
So you guys obviously play off the Infinite Crisis, the multiverse of DC Universe. How do you balance between picking the hero that interests the crowd and the one you need, but also making sure it's not so heavy-handed on one side of the comic universe or the other?
So I think it's really a give and take. Normally, since as a creative director, I'm the one who sits down and is like, this is the list of characters I want to do. And I will put them in a rank order of, this is the ones I think are most interesting. From there, I will then go talk to our character designers, and we'll figure out, well, what role really best typifies this character? So Superman's a great example. So when we pick Superman, it's like, Superman can do everything. Because that's one of the great things about DC characters, is most of them can pretty much do everything. They don't really all fit into just one role. And once we do that, we're then like, all right, well, the game really needs an enforcer. And we're like, oh, Superman can be an enforcer. And then we really scratch our heads and we're like, does it really make sense Superman doesn't do any damage? No, not really. So it's like, all right, well then, Superman's not gonna be an enforcer. So then we eventually pull him in and it's like, we're gonna make him a bruiser. And once that happens, then you're like, all right, well, how many of these characters, how many bruisers do we have? And we've got a bunch of bruisers, that Superman slides down the priority list. Because really we want to make a really well-balanced game, and we all know we're going to build Superman, like it's just how it works. But we want to make sure that the amount of options you have are always really good.
What are the, we're late in the beta cycle. It's been open beta for a little while now. Where are we? What's left before we can finally put this to pasture? Well, not to pasture, but out.
So I think we can settle in for a fairly long beta cycle, because I'm not going to be happy until we've got enough feedback that we can sculpt all of our maps, and possibly even add a few more, because there are a few more maps that have been kicking around. I actually had another idea just today, so I think that...
You write it down?
No, but it's a good enough idea that I don't need to. That's.
Want to say it on camera?
No, I don't. I don't want to say it on camera. But I can say that it's pretty cool. I'm very excited for it. I don't know that technically I can do it yet, but I totally want to, so that's a big bonus. But I also think that I want to make sure that Gotham Divided gets all the love it needs, because right now I think there's some tweaks we need to make to it. I feel like it's a little too snowbally. I feel like it really has aggression in it, and that's a good place for us to be. But I want to spend the time necessary to make that the best map I can possibly make it. And I want to combine that with just a good roster of characters, because one of the things about most games that are really deep, from my perspective, is you need a big set of options, and we're just not there yet. And I don't know that we'll be there until, at least not until I get John Stewart, because he's my favorite DC character.
Well, we know, I guess, when to expect launch, given that character. But so, I mean, you just mentioned that you feel it's a little snowbally. How are you guys diversifying yourself from all the other MOBAs that are here right now, but also trying to come out?
So I think for me, it's all about, I try to focus as much as I can on just aggression, because I feel like if you're playing a superhero game, if you're playing a superhero at all, it doesn't even matter what kind of superhero. It's about property damage, and it's about basically like getting in there and getting into action and staying in action. That's the thing which I feel we focus on much more so than like a more passive farming technique, or conversely like kind of waiting for those very, very momentary big plays. So as we tweak our maps and as we add more stuff to them, that's our guideline. Like, how does this help aggression, and how does this allow for strong counterplay to a person who's being aggressive? Because those are the two things which we try to keep adding more and more stuff to. And I feel that another good example for us is just overall destruction. that helps us as well, because as we start destroying paths and making new areas, that not only feels superhero-y, because, I mean, let's be honest, look, we saw what Superman did to poor Metropolis, right? but it also is one of those things that I think adds more gameplay and makes the map feel more open.
Yeah, I mean, it changes the structure of the map. So, I mean, we've done a couple of interviews with you guys, done a lot of just general writing. We've seen a lot of changes, all in a great direction. It is a different kind of gameplay for different MOBAs. And plus you get to be characters you know and love, and get introduced to the multiverse if you didn't follow the Infinite Crisis storyline years ago. All right, Cardell, we can't wait for it. Is there any range of when it's coming out?
Man, I can just say that I'm going to hold strong and just say, when I feel that we've actually have that critical mass, and I'll know it when I get there. It's one of those things where I keep saying, I'll know when I see it, but I'm not there yet. I'll know when I see it, but I'm going to guess it can't be before the next 8 characters are released. I know that. So that's
at least got to wait for 8 characters, which is 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, you at least have to wait 8 characters, 24 weeks. That's where we are. So
that's a bit longer. All right. So we got some kind of timeline. Thanks so much, Cardell.